I know what Jesus looks like, and today I'm going to tell you about him. Hi, I'm Dakota Lee. I'm an animal communicator. I have a gift to see in the spirit, and I have been visiting heaven since I was 12 years old. Today, I want to tell you what Jesus looks like. So, the first time I saw him, I was 10 years old. I was in church, because where else do you see Jesus for the first time? And I was in the praise and worship service. I'd been seeing angels for years at that point, but hadn't seen Jesus. And something told me to turn around in that service. And when I did, I saw Jesus with my spiritual eyes walk through the sanctuary doors and straight down that church aisle. I totally held my breath. He had very little fanfare, but I just knew it was him. I think he had on a white robe that went down to his feet, and he had sandals on. He had sort of longish hair that went to his shoulders. But he was on a mission, and he walked up to a woman who was probably in about her 60s, and she had been kneeling on the floor for her time of prayer. And he kneeled right next to her. He placed his hand on her back, and he told her, "It's okay, you can rest." And what he meant by this was, you don't have to work so hard at whatever you've been trying. You've got it. You can relax. You can rest into him. And so that was the very first time I saw Jesus. I'll tell you about that interaction when I told the woman what I saw in another video. But I think this topic of what Jesus looks like is fascinating. We have thousands of pictures of what people have imagined Jesus would look like. But I am blessed because I live in the time with another heaven visitor who is an incredible ability to paint. When I saw her paintings, I absolutely recognized Jesus. So I'm going to show you them. Here he is. This painting is called The Prince of Peace. It's by a woman named Akiana Krameric, although she painted this when she was like itty bitty. We're around the same age, and so she was releasing her paintings when I was also getting my visions. Oh my gosh, it was so cool to see, wow, we are seeing the same person. I thought that was absolutely amazing. So go ahead and look her up. I wish she was on TikTok. I'd love to actually meet her one day. But this is what Jesus looks like. However, there is a little more to the story. When I was probably about 16 or 17, I happened to be watching an interview online of Akiana Krameric. She was on Katie Couric, I believe. And she had a bunch of her paintings on the stage, and she was sort of glossing over most of them. But man, she hit one of these paintings. I sat up in my chair, and I started yelling at the computer screen, "Who is that? Who is that?" Because I recognized him even more than the other painting. And she didn't say who it was, but I knew it was Jesus. And here is that painting. So I went to her website immediately after watching that interview. And I looked it up, and sure enough, this painting is called I Am. And Akiana painted this of Jesus. This is Jesus just when he was younger, before he had gone through his whole ministry. This is probably him in his early 20s. And this stood out to me because this is the Jesus, my Jesus. This is who I see when I see him, although he's often more laughing and smiling. But you know how you can recognize people at different ages? Well, this is that. That first painting, Prince of Peace, is Jesus in his 30s, and this one is Jesus in his 20s. And so I'm really blessed that I get to hang out. But this is my Jesus, and I wanted to share.